Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. You can probably hear it in my voice, but I am just waking up and I have my morning coffee. So hopefully you have some kind of warm, comforting beverage if it's cold where you live, or something to snack on during this reading, because today is the first day of December. So there is something really powerful in and of itself, just that we are coming on channeling on the first day of the month. And I love that the calendar date fell that way on, well, in this case, a Monday, but on one of our Monday, Wednesday, Friday reading videos that we do here collectively on the channel. It's interesting. This is the start of a week and the start of a month. I mean, I guess Sunday technically started the week, but for many of us, it's the start of a work week. So there is just something that feels really powerful and fresh and new about the energy coming through in the month of December. And I'm hearing the words launchpad, almost like December is your launchpad into 2026. And so I have all of my chakra stones out here, and I don't know where this reading is going to go. So I am just going to tap into the collective field and see what wants to come up here. While I was meditating this morning, although I didn't really write down very much, I did write down one thing in my journal, and it was seeds planted in winter grow in spring. And of course, by winter, I'm really talking about this month prior to 2026. Although I know that if you are in the Southern Hemisphere, technically speaking, your winter would actually be in about 6 or 7 months from now. But for the purposes of this reading, I really just felt that the message coming through that download was that seeds you are planting right now are going to bring a harvest, are going to bring results or a manifestation in the spring. So again, I keep getting this sense, I saw like a rocket ship for someone. It's like you are that rocket ship taking off, but I keep getting this sense that this month is a launch pad into everything that is coming in the new year in 2026. So I know that these readings are technically timeless, but if you are tuning in around the time of it being posted, so this last month of 2025, then I really feel that the messages here are going to be especially powerful for you. So for some reason, I'm seeing like green grass, and this reminds me of the imagery that came out in the mini reading that I did not too long ago as well. You know, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I know it doesn't quite make logical sense, but oftentimes the way we're guided doesn't fully make logical sense. In the last 2 mini readings, which for those of you who are new, mini readings are just readings that I do outside of our typical posting schedule on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But in the last 2 mini readings, I did a 2-part Divine Feminine chakra reading. And I said that part 3 was going to be coming later on, and I was planning on channeling that tonight. But for some reason, I'm really feeling guided to pick up with where we left off on that Divine Feminine reading, and I'm actually hearing as well that if you didn't hear the first 2 readings, that's completely okay, because they're actually not a prerequisite for this reading. What I'm picking up is while we are starting with the throat chakra, really this video is going to stand on its own. So it's not necessarily going to be related to those first 2 readings. It's just that we are going to use this as an opportunity to channel into what is happening in these upper chakra systems for the collective Divine Feminine, which, as I always say, we all have a balance of both the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine internally within each of us. So regardless of which polarity you identify with more dominantly, I really feel that there could be some kind of message here for you. Of course, if your intuition is letting you know that. But I'm just getting that while this will be a standalone video, you don't have to go back and watch those first 2 parts to understand what comes through here. This is going to be its own kind of entity, but it is going to be picking up where we left off in terms of the chakra centers, because I'm just feeling that there's a lot happening in the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra, especially for the divine feminine. So I am going to follow that guidance, even though, again, I know it feels a little bit illogical. But before we get into that, I also want to say that a message coming through really strongly is that December is going to be a very magical month for you. I saw snow, so maybe it's snowing where someone lives. It's going to be a magical month for you, but I'm also getting the words like flow in capital letters and then the greater than sign, force. So flow over force. And I am going to be channeling more into that later, but I feel this sense that there is all of this potential magic for you to access in the month of December, but it's requiring you to have the courage to allow your flow over your force. And this does require a lot of courage, because I almost get the sense of someone being like tunnel vision focused on a specific outcome or thing or something that they want to occur or to happen. And I feel that like the guides in this visualization are like pulling you back from that tunnel vision, giving you this bigger picture and showing you like this can be so much more magical than your conscious mind may be allowing it to be right now. If you allow this greater flow in your life and you surrender more to that flow, you are going to find that I'm hearing, yes, it's going to happen for you, but it's going to happen in an even more magical way than you could have imagined. And I feel there are many other things that you wouldn't have even thought to imagine happening that are going to be so wonderful, that are going to be happening as you step more into this flow. I'm also hearing the word ecosystem. And for someone listening, I am getting that part of what has felt destabilizing to the ego mind or the conscious mind at times about some of the shifts that have been happening in your life, especially this past year, have been that they have been cultivating or building this like energetic ecosystem around you that has required a shedding of your skin. We've talked a lot about how 2025 is the year of the snake, and symbolically speaking, you may have found that there were many moments of shedding your skin, of letting go of things, people, or situations you've outgrown. While at the same time, you may have noticed that you made decisions or intuitive shifts or changes that are actually creating some kind of like an ecosystem around you where like everything works together in harmony, where it's more of an aligned foundation, but it's scary in the moment because I'm hearing you may feel like the ground is shifting beneath you to some extent. The landscape is changing. You're shedding skin on the one hand, and then on the other hand, you are like welcoming in new components to this energetic ecosystem or making these intuitive shifts or changes that lead to this, I'm hearing temporary destabilization, but long-term longevity. So in the short term, you may actually feel a little uncertain or a little destabilized, but in the long term, you're actually creating this mutually reinforcing, harmonious ecosystem around yourself or around your relationships or your business or your body or whatever it is that is going to support you in the long term. I'm also hearing something about not being able to go back into those smaller systems that used to hold you in a certain way. So you may find it tempting at times to go back into those old ways of doing things, but your system, your body, your mind will quite literally not allow you to do that. You will experience this like instantaneous feeling of almost a kind of backlash if you try to go back into doing things the familiar way that used to work for you, but it's the skin that you've already shed. Like at one point that skin was on the snake, but now you've outgrown it. Now it can no longer hold everything that you've become. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the shuffling. And like I said, we're going to pick up with the throat chakra for the divine feminine. So if you are coming from those first two readings, you could consider this like closing the loop on those messages, sort of like a part 3, except that it's not a prerequisite by any means to listen to the first two readings. So you can also just take this reading on its own. But I am going to take a quick sip of my coffee. I just have plain black coffee. I believe it's French roast, dark roast coffee. So let's go ahead and get into things here. I saw an elephant in my mind's eye for some reason, and I'm hearing strength and resiliency. Also a black crow, a really mountainous landscape that I'm seeing in my mind's eye on like a perfectly clear sunny day. I don't know if that represents something to someone. I heard something about the city of Denver for someone. The 5 of Cups. I feel that there is something being processed through the throat chakra that is very heavy. And I'm hearing you're speaking on something you've never spoken on before, or you are using your throat chakra to release some kind of heavy energy around grief or disappointment. And speaking your truth is healing you. I got the name Arthur, but it also could be the word author, like maybe you are an author or a writer. But I'm hearing that there is something very, very heavy that you've been carrying, and by not expressing it, or I'm hearing by repressing your truth to appease or please others, you've been somehow like inhibiting or blocking some of your throat chakra energy. And I feel like lately you've decided to start speaking your truth, or to start processing these feelings of like heaviness, grief, or disappointment from the past through the throat chakra by giving them a form outside of you, because I feel like they've been living within you as these energy blockages in a way. And now they are being infused into something, into a form like that holds your truth, whether it's you writing them, you talking about them to another person in like some kind of safe container, you creating with them. I just feel like you're giving this heavy energy a space to live outside of yourself. And I'm picking up as well that as you go about doing this, whether it's a creative process or a conversation or you telling your truth or sharing your story, there's something about being meticulous with making sure that every aspect of this is directly in line with what you feel is your truth, like resonates with that truth within you, and is not like morphed or distorted in any way, or like bent in any way to appease someone else, or because you may be like afraid of how they're going to react to it. There's something about like the pure frequency of your truth coming through these creations, or through whatever it is you are like putting into form here. And I feel as though there's something about how there are two sides to doing this. Like one side is that when you pour your true, like authentic self into something, when you tell your whole story, or you share the energy of your truth in a pure, raw, kind of unfiltered way, it carries a different kind of magnetism. So if this is something that you are, and I saw the number 1414 for someone, if this is something that you are creating or something you're putting out into the world, I'm hearing that people will be drawn or attracted to it because it carries the frequency and the resonance of your pure truth. But if you were to try and like morph it or dilute that truth or like bend it in some way, it would lose some of that magnetism. But the other side of this is that this is how it heals you. Like you sharing your truth in this raw, unfiltered form, whether again, it's through a conversation with another person, like a therapist, a counselor, or like you alone, like journaling with yourself or writing or creating or even sharing some of those creations with the world, regardless of how this looks, there's something about how this is healing you in the process. Like just sharing your truth, being fully honest and open with yourself. And I'm also hearing witness. It kind of reminds me of the ideology that the true healing occurs when we acknowledge something and allow ourselves to feel it and share it. But then when it's witnessed by another person, or I believe that there is ideology that when it's shared with like a certain number of people, like 3 people or something like that, or witnessed by 3 people, it's like somehow that is important to our psyche to close a loop of healing. I don't remember the exact details of that, but the gist is that there is power to having a witness to your truth telling when it comes to healing that wound. And so I feel that for some of you, you may have like another person that you are processing this with or conversing with. And in some cases, this could even be you releasing these creations into the world and allowing other people to witness them. And again, to like close the loop on whatever it is that you are healing. I keep getting like someone or a group is like somehow a witness to your growth or to your healing. And there is this power in that. So I'm hearing it can't come with you. So there's this feeling that this is like the final chapter of the 2025 sequence of shedding the skin as this snake that you've been metaphorically. And I feel that in December of this year, if you're watching in December, it's almost like anything left over that was not processed or was not released during the year is now surfacing again. I'm hearing like a residual energy to be fully released so that you can hit the ground running in 2026. And your throat chakra just seems to be playing a huge role in helping you to actively process out that energy. I keep getting that for some of you, you may have told yourself for a while that you could heal this internally without necessarily needing to process it externally, meaning not needing to create something with it, not needing to like speak your truth about it, not needing to talk about it with another person or whatever the case is for you. You may have thought that like you could internally process this all on your own without ever needing to fully share your truth about it. But I feel that it's almost like that energy has just been sitting within you, and specifically sitting on the throat chakra. I'm hearing voice changes. So you may even notice that as you release this heavy energy through this truth telling, through this creation, this throat chakra processing, it may literally change like the candor, the sound, the tone of your actual voice as well. I'm hearing your voice will carry more depth and power to it somehow because you've cleared this blockage that was like preventing you from fully being this open channel through your throat chakra. So I also feel that this in itself is also opening up blockages in your throat chakra in such a way that are meant to prepare you for then something you are going to be using your throat chakra to do or create in 2026. So can I get any other information on the throat chakra? Yeah, we have the 4 of Cups in the upright position, the 3 of Pentacles, the 2 of Swords, and the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, the sense that I get here is like something was keeping you stuck in some sort of stalemate, or like you were trying to not look at something or not reflect on something, or to like not fully acknowledge something that you were carrying or that was affecting you that has come to the surface recently. And ultimately, I feel that with the 3 of Pentacles in the upright position, the way that you are processing out this energy, it's actually there's something about you connecting in like a team setting or a partnership or a collaboration or something of that nature. I haven't fully really fleshed out what that is here yet. So we will see if more messages come through on that. But I feel that somehow you releasing or processing out this heavy energy is connecting you with a person or with people who want to collaborate with you or support you or show up in some kind of like a team-like setting, whether it is just forms of friendship or community, or whether it is, oh, I'm hearing so the right people can hear you. Yeah, it reminds me of how people will say to show up as your most authentic self so that the right people can hear your frequency and can find you. And I feel like once you release this blockage, it's like you attract in a lot of those supportive forces, people, forms of community and connection, because you're emanating that truth signal in a stronger way. But I also see with the 8 of Pentacles that this seems to lead to a massive increase in, I'm hearing like a quantum leap in some kind of skill or profession or hobby or talent, like something, a spiritual gift. There's something that you are already doing, which could be something creative. It could be a hobby. It could be in the workplace. But I feel that as a byproduct of clearing this throat chakra blockage, you experience a massive up-leveling in that area naturally as well. Because once again, that energy of your pure, unfiltered truth is so magnetic. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the third eye chakra. And I got the letter initials GOEHTS. Can I get any information on the third eye? I'm feeling really drawn to the energy oracle cards. So I feel like there's some kind of message here for us. And I'm going to take another sip of my coffee here. Okay, I'm hearing something about how I'm getting called back to that message of flow over force. And I'm hearing something about how when you are allowing your flow over your force, this actually seems to unveil your third eye chakra in a different way and makes you more naturally psychic and intuitive. You may even notice this in the moment when you are more focused. I heard the word nature. Maybe getting out into nature will help you to stay in flow. But I'm getting a message that when you are in the moment, when you are in flow, you are naturally more psychic and intuitive in a way that feels effortless. And you will most likely even just notice these spontaneous moments where out of nowhere, you seem to receive an idea or insight, or you get an urge to go somewhere or to connect with someone or to create something and then see results from that. And I'm getting that it may be really powerful for you to start consciously connecting those dots to reinforce your conscious mind, to reinforce to your own mind that you can trust this flow that you're stepping into. Because the more you can reinforce times where you were in flow and then suddenly got some kind of a psychic hit or an intuitive guidance and followed it out, and then you see the results that you get from that, the more you can reinforce that, I'm hearing like habit loop in your mind, the more you can continue to progress forward powerfully, trusting that flow is going to carry you, that you don't have to force things into place in order for the magic to happen. With the patience card and the sacral chakra here, yeah, I see this being about how staying in the moment to the best of your ability, calling all of your power back to the now, is actually what is going to support you in progressing forward in the long term. I'm just getting this message that it's almost like there's something about letting go of needing to see some kind of short-term burst of results and staying fully present and connected to the present moment, and then continuing to take action in the present without overthinking it, without needing to plan out exactly what action you're going to take tomorrow or needing to be, forceful with, I have to do XYZ actions every single day, but just doing what feels aligned and intuitively good for you now, and letting that carry you forward into the next and the next and the next. And there's a message about how as you continue doing that, I keep hearing something about 30 days, a 30-day challenge almost of like flow, which sounds kind of paradoxical, but maybe you've been guided to challenge yourself in the month of December to trust the flow more, or to do certain things that keep you in that flow and to let it carry you forward and to see where that magic leads you instead of needing to control or micromanage the details of it. And I do feel that with the action card, your intuition is going to be inspiring you very powerfully, or may already be inspiring you in that way. But the thing about these inspired action steps that your intuition is giving you is that they are only coming to you through the present moment. I'm hearing you can only hear your intuition through the now moment, which is why when you're in flow, you become more so-called like psychic. It's because you are more open and connected to the present moment, where all of your guidance is, where all of your information is. The only access point to the quantum realm is through the present moment. And the quantum realm, of course, is where we are connected to all forms of consciousness, all potential timelines, all other consciousnesses or other people. And so I don't think I've ever said something like that before. I might turn this into an Instagram post later, but I love that statement that the only access point to the quantum realm is through the present moment. So if you do want to follow my Instagram, by the way, for those messages, I have been posting there a lot more recently, and my Instagram is @magnetizeyourself, but I also do leave a link to it in the description box as well. Yeah, I just get this sense that you are going to be inspired to some very powerful and aligned actions that are going to bring magical results, but you can only hear and tap into that inspiration when you are in flow, when you are fully present, because that is the only access point to all of that information. So I got the word Gabriel. That could be someone's name. It also could be an angelic kind of presence around you as well. So let's go ahead and move up to the crown chakra. And what can I channel? By the way, in the extended version of this reading, I'm going to do a deep dive into the divine masculine energy, which of course could relate to external masculine energies in your life, physically, romantically, or otherwise. It also could relate to your internal divine masculine within as well. But we will be diving into that because I know that's been a popular request, and I want to do more divine masculine readings on the channel as well. But if you do want to listen to the extended, I channel extended exclusive readings here on both YouTube memberships, but also on Patreon. And those 3 additional bonus readings per week are identical on both platforms, so you can join on either place. And I will leave a link to listen to today's extended reading on either Patreon or YouTube memberships in the pinned comment underneath this video. So what can I channel from the crown chakra? Man holding a coin in the reverse position. Man holding a heart in the upright position. Okay, so there's an internal message coming through here and an external message. So I'm hearing attraction from lack to heart-based attraction. So internally, I see this representing on a very broad level that I'm hearing healing your relationship to success. Interesting. Maybe you've redefined what success means to you, or what abundance means to you, or you've created a picture of those things that feels much more all-inclusive and comprehensive, meaning they include all aspects and areas of your life, not just one tunnel visioned kind of thing, that ecosystem we were talking about earlier. But anyway, I'm getting that there's someone here who has, it's you've truly stepped out of this place of needing to force and control, and you're beginning to shift into this place where it's heart-based attraction, where you're attracting from your heart and from your wholeness. And yet that requires so much more trust and so much more surrender. But I'm getting that for many of you as well, this could be external. So I feel that you are attracting relationships, connections, friendships, opportunities, but of course also romantic relationships from a place of wholeness and like heart-based, I'm hearing organic attraction, meaning you are attracting from a place where people are organically drawn to your authentic frequency, your original self, so to speak, and not from anything like superficial on the surface, anything that is like projected. I'm hearing even through the mind. That's interesting. So it's like, when I say something that's projected, I even mean like those parts of us that want to manifest ourselves to look a certain way or to be a certain way or to show up a certain way. And we're almost like, I feel that in 4D manifestation techniques, it's easy to become forceful even with that form of manifestation. Like, oh, I need to look like this and I need to weigh this much and I need to have this kind of presence when I'm around other people. And so we kind of like label and define all of these physical characteristics and personality traits. And there's nothing wrong with being specific about what we want. But as we ascend into these higher levels of consciousness, even that can begin to feel a little bit like holding on too tight, a little bit like force. And so what I'm getting is you may start to notice that when you are trying to project mentally or emotionally like a specific version of yourself, you may actually limit the magic that shows up in your life. Whereas when you really step into that flow and you affirm to yourself, I am becoming the most aligned, happy, fulfilled, creative, passionate, powerful version of myself internally, and who or whatever connects with me in that energy is meant to be in my life and is connecting with me on my highest timeline. And I surrender whoever or whatever can't connect with me in that energy. And I feel like there's just something so powerful about this internal shift and affirmation. And what I'm getting is it's shifting who and what you are attracting in, meaning who and what is attracted in seems to actually be so attracted to your most authentic self, to the point where anytime that you may feel like you're kind of pushing or forcing or not like, I mean, you're a very naturally authentic person. So it would be an extreme to say like stepping out of that authenticity, because I feel that you never do that. But whenever you feel like you are slightly like diluting yourself or molding yourself to kind of fit a standard for society or for other people, even in the slightest bit, like projecting the specifics of like what you feel you need to be instead of just surrendering into who you are and letting yourself radiate from that natural magnetism, you may notice that it almost like starts to distort the energy in some of these connections or opportunities or whatever, because they are drawn to you for your authentic frequency, not for anything you're projecting on the surface, not for like any specific physical traits or personality traits. I feel even though you are a very beautiful person inside and out, the opportunities and the people and the moments of like serendipity that are coming into your life, the moments of pure magic coming into your life are coming in response to this authentic, organic frequency naturally emanating from within you. And the more that you allow yourself to trust that, the more magical and beautiful and expansive your life is going to become. And I'm picking up something as well about how this is going to build a kind of momentum. So as you continue to trust this flow and lean into it, it's going to build on itself as you are consistent with doing that day after day, like leaning more into that. And as you keep reinforcing consciously those mental habit loops, like reminding yourself, well, I was in flow and then this amazing opportunity showed up or this person showed up or this happened. As you keep mentally reinforcing that, it's going to make it easier to keep building that momentum. So I know that this has been a bit of a different reading. I mean, we've been going deep into some of the upper chakra system shifts that you may be feeling, what December may be holding for you. And I really just hope that something here connected with you in a meaningful way. And if you do want to continue with me to the extended, where we will be taking a look at the divine masculine energy and any other messages that want to come up, the link to that is below. But otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love. If you aren't already subscribed, I invite you to subscribe if you're feeling guided to it. I would love to have you here as part of our YouTube Soul Tribe. And otherwise, I'm going to close things out here. Have a beautiful day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.